I call this meeting of the Carpentersville Village Board to order. Would you please call the roll?
Trustee Burroy.
Here.
Trustee Stevens.
Here.
Trustee Humfer.
Here.
Trustee Sabi.
Here.
Trustee Rayberg.
Here.
Trustee Schultz.
Here.
President Ritter.
Here. We're going to rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. We do not have an invocator tonight, so we will not stay right up to that. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, we have several appointments this evening and swearing in, oath or administrations of oath. The first is appointment of Miss Jen Anderson to the Planning and Zoning Commission. I need a motion to that.
I'll motion. I'll second.
Motion Kevin, second Paul. Just by way of information, Miss Anderson is actually a licensed architect and has a number of different other things that she's good at, but she's also an architect, which should fit in quite well with planning and zoning. We have a motion and second. I think she's here tonight. She was going to be here, but not here. She does teach some classes at night and said she wasn't sure if she could get out. Anyway, there's a motion and second. Any discussion? Call the roll, please.
Trustee Burroy.
Yes.
Trustee Stevens.
Yes.
Trustee Humfer.
Yes.
Trustee Sabi.
Yes.
Trustee Rayberg.
Yes.
Trustee Schultz.
Yes.
Okay, we have a swearing in of two new police officers, Douglas Heitkamp and Gianna Sunta. Oh, Chief, we'll turn this over to you.
Okay, we'll start with Douglas Heitkamp. Both these officers have already successfully graduated from the Suburban Law Enforcement Academy about a month ago. And so they've both been on the road now for a month, but this is the first time that we can get them with me here to get them sworn in. So with me, I've got James Delong, who is the president of the Fire Police Commission. So Doug, if you want to step up.
Thank you.
I, Officer Gianna Sunta,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
or affirm that I
or affirm that I
will support the Constitution of the United States,
will support the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and the ordinances
and the ordinances
of the Village of Carpentersville
of the Village of Carpentersville
in the County of Delaware.
in the County of
duties of the office
the duties of the office
of a Carpentersville police officer
of a Carpentersville police officer
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
Congratulations.
This is my boyfriend, Officer Luke Banning with the Crystal Lake Police Department.
Yeah, Doug, Gianna, can you step up here just for a quick picture back to me? Picture for us. Yeah, come on, you're gonna get a better picture. Jim, you can stay up here. Sure. Yeah.
You got the lighting on that side?
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Before you walk out, just a couple words. On behalf of the board, I want to thank you for joining the Carpentersville Police Department. We're honored to have you. But likewise, you should feel honored because Carpentersville has an excellent police department, and you're moving into a good situation with really quality law enforcement and a community that supports those officers. So thanks again. Welcome aboard. And we will stop for a minute or two for those that were just here for this, and then we'll reconvene in a second or two. So you folks are welcome to leave. Thank you.
Or stay. Or stay.
Really? At what sports bar?
So we took
Hasn't started yet.
Convene the meeting. The next thing would be proclamations, congratulatory resolutions, or awards. And we have the awards for the Halloween decoration contest. And Pat, are you in charge of that?
Don is here from the commission,
Don
and
is
so
here.
he's going to read it off, and I'm just going to hand the prizes for those that came. So I don't know that we'll have many people. I think there's a certain ball game.
Yeah,
that might affect everybody. No, even though there's a prize down there, there's a bigger prize somewhere out in baseball. Right?
Preempted by baseball. Okay. Well, this is the second annual Halloween home decorating contest put on by the Special Events Commission of the Village of Carpentersville with the help and cooperation of the Board of Directors and Public Works. Want to especially thank Bob Cole and Kevin Gomolka for their help. Without them, it wouldn't happen. Also want to mention that the prizes are purchased by fees which are generated by the video gaming. Tax dollars are not used for any of these prizes. Special Events Commission, who put this on, is constantly searching for different ways in the village to do different things to enhance a sense of community within the village of Carpentersville. We've done this Halloween contest twice. This year we'll do the Christmas decorating, home decorating contest. It'll be our third year for that. We've planted parkway trees where they were needed in some areas. And we also started an ongoing butterfly garden program. We're always looking for new ideas. Anyone with an idea or a way to improve our ongoing programs, please submit your ideas at the village website. There's a link where you can click that on, and you can submit your suggestions there. Okay, on with the awards. Yes, we have had two categories. We had two categories, one was kid-friendly, the second one was scary. We had 40 entries in those two categories, and 40 entries, Village of Carpentersville, over 100, a little over 100 miles was put on with one vehicle judging those. So it is quite a thing to have to judge them. A lot of round and round, and we get to see a lot of different parts of the village. Kid-friendly, we're going to do first. The kid-friendly winners, we're going to have prizes for. We're going to give honorable mention, first, second, and third prize. In this category, there was a tie, so we did away with the honorable mention, and we did 2 second-place winners. Third place is 150 Tay River Drive, Brenda LaChugga. Is Brenda here?
Oh, nice.
Brenda, you've gotten third prize. You're going to get a $50 gift certificate for Baroni's and a $50 gift certificate for Cinema 12, pizza and a movie. This is Brenda's decorations. You can see it's very kid-friendly. You could take your 2-year-old up there and he wouldn't be scared, unlike some of the others we're going to have. Second place in kid-friendly was James Stanky at 810 Salem Drive. Lots of lights. Unfortunately, when you take pictures at night, you don't really get the full effect. The lights kind of change your focus, but a lot of work goes into it. That cat had a head that was moving up and back. It was pretty cool. Yeah, where does everything get stored? That's always a question we have. Okay, James, you too get the gift certificate, pizza, and a movie. Our other second place was at 1630 Marlborough Circle, Reynaldo Marcias. Reynaldo, are you here? Second place, also pizza and a movie. Oh, they're here. Did I pronounce your name properly?
I'm Carol. Ronaldo's my son. He's actually taking it all down.
Oh.
Getting ready to.
Okay, good, good.
Very nice.
First place in the kid-friendly class is Derek Hilton at 5711 Breezeland. A lot of stuff going on here. Derek, are you here? Or a representative is here. All right. This is a gift certificate. Pat, is this a $300 gift certificate? $300 gift. Help you buy more decorations for the Christmas contest. Thank you. Now we go to the scary, our honorable mention class. Sarah Ogle, is Sarah here? Sarah's home is judged during the day, but even during the day, it gets pretty scary. This is over on Wisconsin. There's a lot going on here. You really have to get up close to these guys. Maybe I'm glad she doesn't do it nighttime. That would be a little creepy. And this here is a little much, but yeah. So that's scary now. Now we're into the scary. And that was honorable mention. Third prize is Joanne Pasternak on Sacramento, 1623. No one here from 1623. A lot of work goes into this. We got spiders crawling up and down the building. The windows are boarded up. Monsters coming out of the grass. You name it, it was there. That's pretty cool. Second place, Mike, Kathy, and Mickey Peterson on 127 Mora. Anyone here from Mora? There's a lot here. This is a walkway that you walk around through their front yard between the lights, and you run into all kinds of scary things. We had witches singing here over a boiling kettle, and your assortment of skulls and bones. And anyhow, this is the first place we're looking at now. First place, Pinecrest, 3704 Pinecrest. Is there a representative from Pinecrest here?
Yay.
Come on up and get your first place prize of a $300 gift certificate. I've got a name of Julie. You don't look like Julie.
All right.
Roy Meister, is that correct? Roy Meister, is that correct? I believe when we met, when we came judging, and you didn't know how to turn the lights on. Is that right? Yeah. Yeah. We had to wait for Julie to come because it's her baby, I guess. You have to, when you're here, there's all kinds of commotion going on. You hear people from here saying, help me, and as you move along, you got more scary music. So it's audio and visual. It's quite the setup. And if you see this one swinging, you got to look at the eyes. The picture doesn't do it good. It's really creepy. We also like to introduce our holiday decorating contest. Those of you who want money, we expect you to spend it on the Christmas decorations. And registration will be posted on the village website shortly, and all the dates and everything will be there. We want to thank everyone who participated. Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you.
The other Kevin.
We have too many Kevins. We just added one, too.
Our next thing is public comment. We have a couple of Civil War reenactors that want to talk to us this evening, so come on up. You can introduce yourselves.
Those of you who haven't met, my name is Chuck Wozniak. This is Stewart Sanco. We're both board members of Stanford Battery. Together, we were the main guys who ran the reenactment from the reenactor side. You know, without Bob and Pat, it never would have happened because those two were great. But we want to extend our gratitude, first of all, for letting us do that. It was phenomenal. You know, I'm sorry, we wrote a speech, but we knew we were going to stray off. All the reenactors are telling us that town was amazing. The people in it were great. The police, the firemen, everybody was fantastic. So all right, sorry, let me get back. The event in the reenactment went off without a hitch. You know, everybody loved it. It was enjoyed by all the reenactors and the spectators alike. From what we heard, a lot of the spectators were fantastic in participating. We let some work the cannons. You know, even preparation beforehand. You know, at the school when Mr. Ritter came out and saw us, the kids were great. The schools were great for letting us in there. Let's see. Also, I want to apologize for being so late. I know the event was in early August, and we're here now, but we wanted to wait till the end of the year because we made surveys that we gave to all the other reenactors that were there. And we just had them rank it compared to other events of the year, and this event came in second on almost every category. So it's unheard of for a first-year event. And, you know, we just keep thinking, you know, like I said, Pat was huge, and everyone else just helping out so much. The neighbors, like Don, just letting us use their water at their house. It was great. So after getting the surveys back, we found out that, I'm sorry, Carpentersville, ring second, I did that already. We did get inquiries from 10 other Civil War reenactors units that have heard how great it was, and they all want to come next year. So, like, that's huge because we had 15 there, and now 10 more. And Wisconsin guys are like, we heard about it, we want to come back because we did have 2 Wisconsin units there. Now we heard 5 more want to come because they said it was just out of the world. And let's see.
Yeah.
Yes.
we just wanted to say thank you for all those involved. Stanford Battery would like to personally thank the Village of Carpentersville, the board and the staff, the president, President Ritter, the Special Events Commission, Parkview School, Mr. Tom Rosner of Ottawa Engineering, Ms. Evelyn Flyer, the police and fire departments. Actually, fire departments, when in our demonstration area at the reenactment, some of your firefighters came over and we let them go through the whole motion of firing one of our cannons, and we let them shoot it, and they were so enamored with it that they personally said, if you need anything, you need a shower or you need to use our restrooms, come over to the fire department. They're there for you. So we were really blown away by that. And of course, very, very, very special thanks to Mr. Bob Cole, who basically opened the doors to your public works facility. Personally gave me a key. I was in and out there almost all weekend long. I was in public works more than I was at the reenactment, preparing food and just this and that, all little odds and ends for the reenactments. And then last but not least, Trustee Schultz. All of this would have not been for you. Your baby, your brainchild all along.
Oh, Chuck. Thank you. Thank you, Stu.
We did have a reenactors ball at the school, and at the ball, Pat and Mr. Ritter came in and, said, we want to make this an annual event. We want you to come back. And the reenactors were like, wow, absolutely. Let's definitely, and let's go back there, and all the rest of the season, they just, every event. Are we doing Carpentersville? Let's get a date. We want to know. We want to go back there. So, and we've been involved in running several different events in other towns. Like I said, you guys just, you blew it away. You were really good. So we really appreciate it. We really want to come back and do this again.
Yeah.
That's great to hear.
Yeah.
So is that a yes?
I want you to come back.
Is that like a yes, or?
Oh, I told them that night, yeah, we want to come back.
Well, can we confirm it?
Yeah. Well, work with Pat and make sure you get a good date so we get it locked up on the park. And
Yeah, we saw the park. Wow, it looks like a battlefield now.
Yeah, that's right.
it will be done in time for a summer event.
Great.
Plus, the manager for First Brigade told me that the weekend of the event, and I know that they're limited in what they do, or they've cut back based on what we talked about, but they seem like they wanted to come back. He asked us if we were going to do it again.
Right away, because we want to come back. And he said we want to come back for both days next year.
Yeah, and then we'll have to see if Park District, because that was fun at the 4th of July too.
Oh yeah,
That was
the fireworks
amazing.
show you guys had was amazing.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
This town rocks.
Yeah.
I live in Lombard. Our fireworks I thought were good. And I'm like, if you had the same date, I'd be here. And I hope we get invited to do the cannons again for the fireworks show, because that was a lot of fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. They were spectacular this year.
Ever.
Yeah,
Best fireworks show
they
ever.
were great.
So,
So now you got the whole winter to be coming up with some fun things, huh? So for next year, right? So I bet you do. Yeah.
I hope
So-
we go back to the schools. I know the kids
we
really
loved it.
enjoyed
We
that.
went to school last week. So
Yeah.
the schools are big for us.
Yeah. And I think Dundee Crown, the kids, even though we had a little getting some involved, it was the summer months and
Yep,
that.
that worked out very well,
But
too.
they loved it, and their drama club teacher loved it, and they were hoping to be able to do that again. And we loved
That was fun. That's a
Yeah.
great stage there. It was great to get
Yeah.
good use out
We're
of
going
it.
to have a new stage.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
New stage.
Well, we'll see if it's done in
Hopefully.
time, but yeah.
Hopefully by
So,
then.
It was still
yeah.
a lot of fun. And we
Yeah.
want to thank everyone who was involved.
Yeah. So,
Thank you.
for
Thank
coming
you
up.
very much for your hard work.
yes.
Thank you.
It was a lot of work.
you.
Yeah. Thank you guys so much. Be
Thanks.
talking to you soon. Thank you for the flowers. Bye. Get home to the game. Oh,
Really?
Yeah.
That's not a bad rumor, is it? Oh.
But it's early. First.
All right. Consent agenda. All items listed on the consent agenda will be enacted by one motion. There'll be no separate discussion of those items unless the trustee so requests, in which event the item will be removed from the general order of business and considered in its normal sequence on the agenda. Any items to be removed?
A motion to pass the consent
A
agenda?
second.
Motion Paul, second Ginger. Since we would have no discussion, since no items were removed, please call the roll.
Trustee Burrow,
Yes.
Trustee Stevens,
Yes.
Trustee Humfer,
Yes.
Trustee Stobby,
Yes.
Trustee Rayberg,
Yes.
Trustee Schultz.
Yes.
Okay. Reports of manager, officers, commissions, and staff. Mark?
We have one report tonight. Finance Director Mitesh Desai is going to give you a quick overview of the tax levy and announce different dates, like the public hearing on the budget and the tax levy be November the 10th. But Mitesh?
November 10th, yes. Thank you, Manager Rooney, and good evening. I'll just go through estimated tax levies presentation. I think we have talked about it, but if you want, I can go for maybe 90 minutes or so to talk in detail. And
just remember, England and Pakistan soccer cricket
Okay.
match, you'll be over in a minute.
Consider this that important.
Okay, tax year 2016 estimated tax levy presentation.
Done.
Mission statement.
I've already seen
Is
this.
what we talked about for the residents, yeah, and the people watching at home. The corporate levy is not going up. We are keeping it flat. The only increase you see there is $375,000 in the police and fire pension tax levy. Debt service levy is in fact going down because of the recent refundings, so which resulted in the savings, and that's why it is down by $209,000. So the net result is $166,000, $341,000 total tax levy going up, and that's mainly because of the police and fire pension. One more thing, which is a good news for the village and the residents, the EAV, if you look at that, it's gone up to $512 million from the last year's $445 million. So that's a big jump in the EAV, and that, I think, resulted into the rate going down by 2.57. And I think I heard here from the trustees and others that when the EAV was going down, and I think the rate went up, obviously it's a function of that, but I think the residents were promised that, okay, if the EAV comes back, we'll try to, bring the rate down, and I think that's what's happening here. It's almost 12% down the rate from last year's 2.92, so which is a very good sign. This is the kind of additional thing I put in some cases, like this is the debt service and how, like if you look at it, total debt service in the is like almost 4.4 million principal and interest. But after we do the abatement of almost $2.5 million, we are levying for only 1.9 million. So that's a good sign too. Besides the savings, we are using other sources of revenue to abate the tax levy. And finally, it comes down to 1.9 million out of 4.4 million. This is the detail by each bond. Most noticeable. And I really it's good that 2014 bond issue for the infrastructure. There is no tax levy burden on that. We are abating out of the existing revenue sources. Same thing, the couple of recent ones, 2015A and 16B, what we are levying for that, and the last couple of lines are the service. The summary, showing the total abatement of 1.9 million, including 1 million for the principal and roughly 860,000 in the interest. Special service area. For this year, we are raising only special service area 1 to fund some of the infrastructure projects in the SSA 1. And so we are levying 35,000. In SSA 2, we are keeping it flat. In SSA 3, we have some fund balances and even which we could use to fund some of the projects there. So we are not levying anything for the SSA 3 this year. And SSA 21, levy remains the constant at 4,500. This is the summary of all the levies we talked about. And again, I would point to the pension funds, which is going up by 375,000, debt service levy down. Overall levy is up by only 1.28%, but the rate is going down by almost 12% because of the jump in the EAV and by keeping the corporate levy flat. And this is the tax rate. I think in the past, some of the trustees ask how the rate looks and how it breaks down even within the village as a corporate, debt service, police, fire pension. And this is the rate, 11.94% of the EAV. Now this includes the refuse portion. So I put the chart here, and you see that that most of the money, like almost 60% money goes for the education, school district and the college. Village is at 24%. But within that 24%, what is made of police and fire, I mean, that might be interest to the residents. So I think I have one more chart, like, you know. So if you look at that, the one sticking out is the corporate levy, which is roughly half of our total share. The other three are like a debt service, fire pension, and the police pension. So which is a kind of good sign we are trying to keep the corporate levy in check. This is the tax rate without the refuse. Almost 6% lower. If I take almost $2.2 million, which is a net, you know, kind of subsidy for the refuse charges, the rate would come down to this one. And then it would look like this. The corporate levy, if you see that little shrink, you know, because if I take that portion out. EAV, as we mentioned and we talked about it, the audit and finance, and I think in one of those, we were at the top in 2008 at 721 million. Looks like that we might get there if the economy continues like what we have seen in the last couple of years. We are up to the 512 million for 2016. Last year we gained a little bit at 446, but if this trend continues, I think by 2018 or 19, maybe even in next couple of years, we might get to our 2008 levels, and that would help us a big time. And because of that, if you look at that, rate has started coming down. So again, same way in the EAV, same thing here, the rate, yep, if the EAV continues, we might bring the rate back down. Property tax distribution, I just throw in again, we talked about it, the green one is the corporate levy, and followed by the police pension, debt service, and finally the fire pension in the red. And this is what we did, like October 29th, Audit and Finance Commission recommended the whole budget, including all the tax levies to the village board. Budget presentation are placed on the website for anybody, including the residents, trustees, and that, okay, all the departmental presentation, tentative budget, they are all on our village website under the finance. There will be a special meeting Thursday, November 10th at 7 p.m. for the budget hearing. So there will be a special meeting for the village. And budget, tax levy, and debt abatement would be adopted on the first village board meeting on December 6th. And finally, yeah, we filed that all those documents with the Kane County. Any questions, any comments?
I just have a comment. I hope that the public can recognize how much that hurt when the EAV went down. We lost 400 million in value, and boy, that just really did us in for how many years, you know, and we're just getting back, getting some of that back, and we'll continue on the right path. I think we'll get all the way back.
Paul?
Yeah, and the most important thing is the levy, because that's really where you're going to pay your tax dollars. And I really wanted to compliment Mark Rooney and Hitesh here for renegotiating those bond issues that we had that caused the amount of debt to come down that we pay on an annual basis, which we applied to the pensions, because we're trying to stay on top of those for this statute where we have to have it funded by 100% by 2040. So incrementally we're getting there, but that really helped us out a lot, and you can see we're going to reap the benefits of it this year. So thank you for doing that.
And for those of you at home, I know you can't really see all those numbers up there, or you can barely see them, but everything up there is on the village website. And if you want to go by department, every department has its own set of slides. It shows where their money goes, how many employees they have, what new equipment they ask for, what new equipment they're going to get, which is not the same. They always, you know, we always want more than what we can afford, but we have to pare back some places. But everything is on the website. We don't hide anything. So slides, whatever you want to know, and if you actually can't find something and you call the finance department, I am sure they will tell you where you can find it, or they'll look it up for you and tell you what's on there. We want people to know where we get our money and where it goes. There's no secrets in Carpentersville about our finances. Anybody else with a comment?
No, great job, though. Great job to the department heads, staff. So another great budget year and another great budget. Thank you, Hitesh.
Okay, any other reports, Mark?
That would be all.
Okay, Pat, any report?
I was not able to attend the special events meeting. Ginger's just going to give, it was just a short meeting with picking the winners. Said she'd speak to it.
Okay, we'll get you in order then.
Okay.
Kevin?
Well, I mean, most of the meat and potatoes was just presented by Hitesh there, but the only other thing I'll add is I'd like to thank the board also for having what I would consider to be the proper attitude towards this and realizing that just because EAV is going up, that's not an excuse to raise taxes. What you see is EAV going up, but then the tax rate going down by an almost corresponding amount. And when we're talking about the corporate levy, which is what the board has most control over, that's a flat levy for the coming year. And I think that's really that's very encouraging. That's shows some great fiscal management, especially in this climate, to be able to hold our largest sort of bucket of the tax levy and hold it frozen for the year. I think that's fantastic to have it proposed moving forward. Thrilled about that. The other thing to point out is pay attention to the pension levy. The good news is the corporate levy is flat, it's frozen for the year, or assuming that the vote moves forward. However, the pension levies we're in another year of double-digit increases for those, and this is as good a spot as any for me to reiterate my point that it is simply unsustainable, and taxpayers are on the hook for the brunt of this, and it's unfair to the residents.
You might, I don't know if you wanted to mention it, but we did approve or recommend a rate study for the water and sewer plant because we have to keep an eye on our needs. We're getting mandates for phosphorus removal from water and so forth and so on, and so we have to make sure that our water and sewer plants are properly funded. Doesn't mean we have to change the rates, the water rates, but it means we have to look and make sure that what we're doing is right for the future of Carpentersville. Sorry, Kevin, I didn't want to.
No,
I was waiting to make sure.
Yeah, that is. Yeah, thank you for bringing that up.
Paul?
We did not have a quorum for the Business Development Commission meeting last week, so a couple of us that were there, we just discussed some of the recent interest that seems to be growing in different businesses that are different sites and different businesses throughout the village. So we're continuing to seeing positive responses from the broker community. So we just got to keep doing what we're doing, especially on the fiscal management side. It's very important. That's what they're looking at, and they're telling us that they appreciate this, as well as Mark Huber's department handling those permits, getting those out on a timely basis. So it all works together, and we're seeing the benefits of it now. So we'll may have a meeting at the end of this month. I'll have more information at the next meeting. Thanks.
Ginger?
I'm going to speak to our events commission meeting that was held October 24th. Don already did an excellent job in our presentation, giving out the awards to the winners of the Halloween decorating contest. I don't have a lot to add to that. Just some the statistics. There was 40 entries, and basically what we did, we got together on the 24th and we went through all the pictures. There was more than that, so for those of us who could not get out there and help judge, and I was one of them. I had another meeting to attend that night, but we went through all the pictures and chose the winners, which was fun. We had a lot of conversation about the decorations, and then we discussed the Christmas lighting, or how are we even saying that? It's not Christmas, it's
the holiday decorating.
Holiday decorating contest. Gosh.
having a hard time being PC, huh?
Yeah, it is. I always say Christmas, so anyway. Bob's got the registration ready to go. The form is going to be posted on the website by November 14th, which is the week before Thanksgiving. Signs that will be advertising the event will be put throughout the village again on November 14th. So I guess watch if you're interested in jumping on the bandwagon for the holiday decorations. Watch for the posting and fill out the form and get those lights up.
I think we had about 60 last year, didn't we, I believe? I think.
60?
60 inch. Oh, no, 80. Maybe it was close to 80.
I was thinking it was higher than that,
Excuse me,
too.
I'm
It was-
sorry. Yeah, it was close to 80, so.
It was a lot of work, I
Yeah.
do know, I remember.
Yeah, the big thanks again, Don, for you really spearheading that, going around and driving everybody. But you're right, boy, you get to see all kinds of parts of Carpentersville, so it was really worth it. So it's good morale for our community, guys, to have these very good for our image and the participation and engagement of our residents. So it's good to have these contests. So, and thank you, Bob. Thank Kevin again. Bob's got so many Kevins, I can't keep them straight around him. I apologize, but please tell Kevin thank you. That was a really cute slideshow, so I appreciate it.
Great.
And thank you, Bob, for everything.
Don, any reports?
No report from Jelke's Creek Watershed Coalition. Probably won't have another meeting there until after the first of the year. And Quadcom is in the 31st of November, so I'll have a report after that on that. And then we do have another substance abuse meeting coming up. It's not really a commission, but that will be November 10th at Public Works, 7 o'clock. We invite all the residents, any resident who wants to attend, please come and help us with this problem that we got around the area, in this village, outlying villages. It's
Did you say November 10th?
yes.
Same night of
Yes, it's the same night as the special budget meeting. But if there's enough people here, then I will go to that. So,
What time is that meeting? It's at 7?
yeah, I believe so. And it's in cooperation with a grant that we're receiving, not just for Carpentersville, but based in Carpentersville from the Rent Center. And we're trying to develop, first of all, a name of what we want to call ourselves, and develop programs for schools and boys clubs and stuff like that, which is already ongoing. But to enhance those programs, get the word out about drug awareness and overdose prevention.
And Don, even though you're not an official board representative, we
Right.
appreciate your reports. The police are involved in
Right.
this, and anything you can do to keep us informed, we appreciate. Thank you. All right, then we have no old business, no new business. We have trustee reports. We'll start with Ginger this evening.
I have nothing further than what I said.
Don?
Trustee reports. I think the biggest thing is, well, the Cubs are winning 3-0, but just a little sidetrack there. But vote. We were just talking before the meeting about early voting, and there's been a lot of early voting this year. Last number I heard, it was 23 million, nationwide. I know that we've experienced some. When I went to vote early over at Fire Station 3, there was a couple of people there, and more coming in behind me. And Ginger, you said you had to wait, actually. So that's going on. It's real convenient. They're open all the way up to the 7th of November, and the election's on the 8th. So get out there and vote.
I'm getting a lot of questions from residents about early voting. Could we clarify it a little bit? Do you have to go to one particular place, or how exactly do you early vote? Could we maybe detail that a little bit?
No, I thought in Kane County you could go
Any
anywhere.
place in Kane
You could go to
County.
the 611.
But in town.
Dundee, or you can go to Fire Station 3. It just
Right.
depends.
But
could
the
actu-
township offices have it too, don't
Yes.
they?
Yeah.
You can
So
go, you
that
can go
would
to the
be
county
basically
building, too.
two convenient locations.
Or the-
Dundee
The one in the
Township
Rakeout
offices
Center?
on 72 and Fire Station number 3.
Right.
It's
So
on
you have
Sleepy
two
Hollow.
choices in this area.
In this area, you can also go down to Geneva,
Yes.
and they have early voting there.
Yes,
And they
they
have
do.
a
Any
bigger,
place in Kane County.
they have a bigger setup there.
Yeah.
I mean, if
Up
you're down,
until-
if you're down there, so.
Does anybody know the website with the hours? Is it just is it just Kane County?
KaneCountyElections.org,
Okay.
and that will give you a whole schedule of where you can vote early.
There's a good, nice document there.
Yes.
You know what, I'm gonna chime in a little bit too on this, because last election, 18, which votes at Randall Oaks, and it was about an hour wait.
It was 2 hours here at the Moose
So,
Lodge
I mean, you
primary.
really,
Right.
if you don't wanna wait, vote early, because it's
Yes.
crazy how many people wait that. I mean, unless you like standing in line and texting others, but,
Yes.
Just a tidbit, I voted on Friday at Station 3, and I got there at 10 to 5, that closed at 5. I was number 323 for the day, and normally, I was, one of the judges after I voted, and they were closing up, she said that normally they would have had 40 voters. So having 323 at early voting was crazy.
Yes.
So
Very, very convenient.
it's,
Okay,
yeah.
Pat?
Well, I'm the dissenter here. I'm voting on Election Day. I want to make
Okay.
sure that there's nothing going on with my ballot beforehand.
Blame you. Okay.
So, anyway, no, what I wanted to say, President Ritter, is, I know I've said it again a few times, I just want to say thank you to staff, thank you to the board for the support for those events. And it's obvious, I didn't know they were doing this kind of survey the way they were, and the fact that throughout Illinois, those reenactors think Carpentersville was like the second best, and it was our first one. And, 10 more units kind of looking to come down here.
Yes.
We're going to need a bigger park. So, at this point, but I...
Commandeer Old Town.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, but I was just kind of, I saw them briefly in the hall, and, they're going to start working, of course, on their schedule, because they go all over this winter, and Stewart, as he said, they've already got a million ideas that they've been thinking about for Carpentersville, solely for Carpentersville. So, and they've been doing Lombard for a long time. So it's kind of refreshing, but without the support of the staff, without the board support, we wouldn't be able to have events like that. And I'm looking forward to more. So, as I said earlier, I think it's high time for Carpentersville that we engage our residents and give them something to do, and we're going to have an awesome park to do it in, no doubt about it. So I'm looking forward to it. So thank you, everybody. I appreciate it. And that concludes my report.
I was going to cover early voting, so thank you for covering that. That's good. And then there was also an article that caught my eye in today's Chicago Tribune that I thought applied to Carpentersville. The 606, which is Chicago's newest bike path, real elaborate, running through some neighborhoods. Some studies have come back, and the property values along that bike path has increased nearly 50%, 50. So it shows sort of the power of a well-constructed, timely, well thought out bike path. And I couldn't help but think of Maple Avenue and the path that we put there. And I believe that the homes along Maple Avenue and then those neighborhoods adjacent to Maple Avenue are going to see a bump, of course not 50%, but they'll still see a bump in their property value because it's instantly becomes more desirable property because they have that direct link to what will soon be a newly renovated Carpenter Park. So it's great to see these plans kind of coming together and then seeing how they can come to fruition and benefit the residents. And it's really like the ultimate win-win here. So it's really good news. Maybe in a couple of years we'll be able to actually pull some metrics off of Zillow and see for ourselves, see what type of increase we're seeing there.
And
So-
that would apply to Keith Andrews, too.
Yes,
Those
it would.
folks
Good
on
point.
Sacramento and
Good point.
Tulsa, as that park grows, I think we're gonna see the realtors start using that park as a talking point and
Mm-hmm.
a reason to, wanna buy a home around there. I think I hope we do get some metrics at some point. It'd be good to know.
Yeah,
you know.
yeah, I'm sure we will. And this isn't nebulous math where there's some type of weird multiplier involved that's more propaganda than actual fact. These are statistics that we can pull off of real estate websites, and we can apply it to a number of factors. But I think the Maple Avenue bike path is really just something that I want to give staff a little extra kudos here on now, because we're seeing other bike paths really inflate and put some money back in the pockets of the residents that are along the path. So good news there. That concludes my report.
Two things. First of all, I've had several residents ask me about Carpenter Park and the renovations that are going on. And there's the giant hole right off of Maple Avenue there. And people are like, oh, what are they doing? Are they digging that down? But that's just for stormwater, correct, Bob? Stormwater detention basin, but no, it's still going to be a field there. It's going to look the same, except for obviously the upgrades that we're making. Second, don't forget to roll back your clocks this weekend on Sunday. That's this Sunday. And, yeah, go Cubs.
Change your batteries in your fire alarms, and smoke alarms.
Thank you.
Turn the clocks back. Really, I don't have a report other than maybe a suggestion that we could focus on the ball a little bit for the next reenactment. I think that's maybe our opportunity to kind of set us apart. from
Focus
some
on the
of-
ball? Yeah. Paul, I know this sounds silly. They were a little caught unaware, too. He didn't mention this, but they ranked number one. They give reenactors over a course of a week one meal. And he told us some places they go, they get stew, some place they get potato salad like this. They roasted that pig, stuffed it with chickens, and I don't know what else in there. People are asking, are you having that pork roast again? They were so full, they couldn't get a lot of people in there to dance afterwards. So, yeah, it's a good point, but he said it was a lesson learned for them, too. But Ed and I attended, and there weren't a lot of people, but it was fun, and the brigade band it was great to hear them.
I think that part, just to listen to that band with
Yeah.
what all the instruments were at least 100 years old.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think
Oh, yeah.
Older than that, they were all actual Civil War or earlier.
The newest instrument was from 1864 or 65. Yeah. So yeah, and they want to come back, which is good, So we will, Paul. We'll work on it.
Yeah,
Thank
I'm
you.
looking forward to it.
Yeah, I'd like to ask Paul if I could. Do you think, Paul, that we can get the Little Leagues a little more interested in coming to Carpenter
Can
Park
always
when
ask.
that
I'll certainly reach out to
when it gets done?
Tri-Cities to
Yeah.
see if they're interested.
Okay.
Hopefully with the ballparks getting fixed before the end, before snow flies.
Yeah.
Please. It's been 2 years now.
Yeah.
We had a Little League game in Carpenter Park and going
Yeah.
through withdrawal here. So, hopefully we'll get that done and the kids will be back in the park playing.
Yeah, well, I know Benny's older, but you've got good connections, so maybe you can help us put the word out.
Not a problem.
So, thank
Would
you.
love to. That concludes my report.
I guess it's my turn. But the thing about the ball, I think people didn't realize that the public could come, and that might make a difference.
Yeah.
If we make it known that the public can come, they teach them how to do some of the dances
Yeah.
and so forth, and we could have public
Okay.
participation, and that would be a nice thing,
Okay,
I
duly
think.
noted. Okay.
Anyway, few quick things here. I was one of the 325 on Friday that voted. I was there at about 11 o'clock in the morning, and there were 10 people in front of me and 5 people behind me in line at that time. So it took me about 10 minutes or so to get up to the booth, but it was well worth it. I appreciate the opportunity to vote, and I appreciate the opportunity to vote early, because I actually will be one who will not be here on the 8th, so I had to vote early or not vote. So anyway, couple of things. The Chamber of Commerce, the Northern Kane Chamber of Commerce, has been sponsoring a series of legislative meetings, they call them, where the 5 towns in Dundee Township get together to discuss mutual concerns and what's going on and what's coming in new and what legislation we like to see. And that's a regular feature. I don't know how often they're going to meet. They're planning a mayor's breakfast for sometime in April where the public could come in and listen to our discussions. So it's just another avenue to talk about Carpentersville and also to find out what businesses are coming in other places, because it's obviously business oriented since it's a Chamber of Commerce. But that was last week. I previously reported about making a speech at the Fox Valley Sustainability Coalition, where they try to blend ecology with sustained growth in things like transportation and new businesses and so forth and so on. But they want to start a mayor's auxiliary where the mayors of the Fox Valley region would get together to be a part of this, or an auxiliary to it. And they asked me to be a part of the group that puts it together. So over the next few months, we'll be looking at some meetings with some other mayors. About 4 of us from up and down the valley are going to try to see how we can get all the mayors up and down the valley working together on the same ideas about sustainable ecology, but also growth, because almost all of the people who believe in ecology know that we have to have growth along with it. It can't be one or the other. It has to be a way to be both. So it sounds like a very worthy thing, and I'm glad that I can look at it. I did go to the Metropolitan Mayor's Executive Committee, which is at CMAP in Chicago, and a lot of general information. But one thing that was discussed, and it's not too late, but this lockbox amendment where they would freeze all monies that are supposed to go to transportation must go to transportation. And even though that was a transportation group, there was kind of a general consensus that this law or amendment is written so loosely that a lot of stuff is going to get tied up in court for a long time while the state Supreme Court decides exactly what this amendment means. So there was a lot of misgivings. There was some worry that, you lock the money up, and what if there is another crisis down the road, and now you have locked this money up and you can't solve a crisis. That's part of the point, is to keep it there so that it can't be used, but it also is a tie-up and a very possibly could backfire on some of the things that people do, like our little 2-cent gas tax. We use that now to pay off debt for roads. I could turn around and say, no, you can't use it for that, because that's not what's in there, because the law is very liberally, could be very liberally interpreted. But anyway, take it for what it's worth, but in my personal opinion, it's too loose, and they need to come back with a better amendment before I will personally vote on it. Anyway, we also, Manager Rooney and I met with West Dundee this afternoon, because we have a number of things that we're working on in common. We're working on Spring Hill Mall together, and all the land around it is intertwined. Something that we want to do on our part of on our Carpentersville part can affect what they do. So we also have the area, the road, Main Street Hill, and all the way out to Sleepy Hollow that we're working on together. That's all going to be done basically as one project. And we're still talking about fire consolidation. So with all these things going with West Dundee, we've decided that we might meet, every 2 months. We'll sit down and just make sure that we're working towards these goals of fire consolidation the best we can get from the mall, and that this road project, which is going to be a 2-year long deal, and it's going to be difficult for anybody who drives that area, comes off as smoothly as it can. Huntley Road, that is, yeah. And Main Street Hill as well, even though only Huntley Road is actually both villages, but it's all one big project. With that, I'll conclude my remarks. We do need to have a closed session for 2C1 of the Open Meetings Act. I need a motion to go to closed session.
I'll motion.
And 2C11.
I'm sorry, and we will add also 2C11. So we have 2C1, 2C11 of Open Meetings Act. Motion?
Motion.
Motion Ginger, second.
Paul.
Paul? Call the roll, please.
Trustee Burway?
Yes.
Trustee Stevens?
Yes.
Trustee Humfer?
Yes.
Trustee Sabi?
Yes.
Trustee Rayberg?
Yes.
Trustee Schultz?
Yes.